Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question, are there children? There's no children inside this building.
Potentially the largest fraud scandal in US history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the US taxpayers' expense. And in this video we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked.
How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation, contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children. I have never seen a single child there ever, and I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violations, and even though they have these violations, they're still in operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing, is you have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address. Place right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually 2 daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility that you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
No.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell?
Yeah.
tried to get in, rang the doorbell, nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a playground or something outside, or...
There's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building. Right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming through.
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No. Can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Doesn't know if she's ever seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one, in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally 1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see if there's any children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy, that green building right there, and the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars.
I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door.
Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Why?
Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare.
And after a few questions, the lady went silent.
Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Child Care.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which says it's licensed for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids, and all the facilities are the same way, all of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Once again, I tried to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door.
I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cuz I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No, I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah?
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They
Yeah.
got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When? No, when?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
It's there. Kids there. What's
How
happened?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You worked there. Okay, well then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
No! You're a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain you everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah,
Why?
because of your curry.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
no,
you-
no.
you said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now,
This is my
they're all
tax
getting
money.
mad because he's showing the
I
paperwork
don't
of
know
this
that.
business being registered as a business. 74 children,
I've
no
lived my whole
children.
life
We
here.
saw one child when the lady opened up the door.
Wow.
So now
where did
they're
this
all
money
getting
go?
mad.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent
ask
on?
the owner.
There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking for the
not my
owner
proof.
if you're
That's
telling me
not
to
my
talk
proof.
to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location.
Watching what's happening in Minnesota is very hard to ignore, especially at times like these where many Americans are working their asses out, like they're working so hard to survive. I know quite a number of people that work 2 to 3 jobs just to be able to pay their bills. You know, we keep hearing about how many, social benefits are being cut or, reduced or cut altogether. Yeah. So it's really disheartening, hearing stories like this, how billions of dollars are used to support fake businesses. It's really, really sad and disheartening. Take a look at the daycare centers. They are empty. And billions have been used to fund those daycare centers. Where are the billions coming from? Taxpayers' money. How would you feel knowing that you're paying taxes to support fraud? You're paying taxes to support fake businesses. It's really disheartening. Anyways, stick around, guys. Credit, as always, goes to the original creators of these videos. Thank you so much, guys. Just stick around and I'll roll out some more videos for you to see.
Doesn't stop there. Every major Somali fraud ring is targeting Minnesota and, by extension, every single taxpayer in this country. This is the consequence of letting a culture that is built on corruption, violence, and piracy take root on American soil. And now, tragically, the next generation of Somali Americans is picking up the same destructive habits right here at home. They're already the most welfare-dependent immigrant group in the U.S., and they've been caught stealing $300 million in COVID relief funding that was meant for hungry children. Now, their latest scheme targets Minnesota's Medicaid Housing Stabilization Services program, which is supposed to help seniors and addicts find housing. But the program's rules were so loose that fraud exploded. Take a look at this. Costs went from $2.6 million in 2020 to $104 million in 2024. Already this year, they're at $61 million in just 6 months, meaning they're on track to hit $122 million if that trend continues. And why? Because 6 people are accused of defrauding HSS, and they're all members of the Somali community. But this just gets worse. Watch this.
If we take a look at Minnesota's federally funded autism program. Now, several people, and this is an example, a woman in the Somali community, are co-conspirators, and they're accused of recruiting kids for autism therapy. They brought in families, had them convinced to get their kids diagnosed as autistic. In fact, these families ultimately ended up having various social services bid for their children, competing with the size of check that they would get. It didn't matter if the kids had autism. And what happened? Autism claims to Medicaid surged. In 2018, $3 million. By 2023, listen here, from $3 million to $400 million. Autism providers jumped from 41 to 328 in 5 years. Now, City Journal reports that the Somali fraud rings send a lot of money back to Somalia. 40% of households in Somalia get remittances from abroad. That totals $1.7 billion. That is more than the entire budget of the Somali government. Money being sent abroad, from abroad, back to Somalia. Where is that money going? Take a look at this. Most alarmingly, a lot of that money is funneled through money traders, and in the end, ends up in the hands of al-Qaeda-linked Islamic terror group Al-Shabaab. So to bring this full circle, the Minnesota taxpayers are funneling money through fraudulent autism claims back to Somalia, where that money lands in the accounts of Al-Shabaab.
We are importing people from other countries who openly despise us, and they're shamelessly exploiting our generosity, our kindness.
The Somali community has decided to respond to the American public learning about their massive fraud schemes that total in the billions of dollars by holding a press conference where we're supposed to feel bad for them. But here's the thing. It didn't go as planned. The entire thing was a massive backfire, starting with this clip of a mother who stands there and says the truth instead of lying, and then has a literal heart attack on stage. Here we go.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad.
This is how endemic fraud is in the Somali community. You can't just say fraud is bad. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. She looks like she was about to be excommunicated for simply saying fraud is bad. And then everybody claps, and all the liberal white ladies clapping. And by the way, those liberal white ladies, they're daycare workers. One of them hopped up on the mic and did the exact same thing. Here we go.
And I do see some signs over here that say stop fraud, and I agree, stop it. There are wait lists for these programs that are years long. There is fraud,
Yeah, when Trump said they're not sending their best, this is what he's talking about. But it gets even more unbelievable. Somali fraud daycare owner hopped up on stage and decided to announce that his daycare had been broken into, and guess what the burglar stole? All of his employment records and all of the records of the children getting checked in. Those would, of course, be the records that the feds would use to put him in prison. And while he's sitting there sobbing, trying to make you feel sorry for him, people on the internet notice that he's wearing a $3,000 pair of glasses, designer glasses, some of the most expensive glasses you can buy. These glasses are like $50, by the way. I wouldn't even know what to do with a $3,000 pair of glasses, but this Somali scammer is literally wearing glasses more expensive than maybe your car, certainly more expensive than my first car. So, yeah, I don't feel bad. And I won't feel bad when they're denaturalized and deported, which is exactly what needs to happen.
Yesterday morning, I was called by the owner because unfortunately someone came in to our daycare. We looked and saw what happened, and we saw that the suspect came in from the back, broke in from the back kitchen, and he also destroyed the wall to come in. As we walked around the daycare, we saw that our office doors was broken into as well. We saw that, unfortunately, there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book. This is devastating news, and we don't know why this is targeting our Somali community, as one video made by a specific individual made this all happen. We've been receiving hateful messages through our voice notes threatening us since the past couple of days, including one that happened yesterday morning after the break-in. This is frightening and exhausting because this is happening to us Somali communities as Somali Americans. We are supposed to stand with each other and help each other through everything that's happening. This is also sad that a video can cause all of this. I want to say that there are hundreds of daycares out there, Somali daycares that are out there, and we all help our children and everyone in our community. We have high quality daycares, and this is very sad news that one individual who made a false claim about fraud that is happening in the daycares engaged everyone else to come and do this to us.
Ilan Omar and Tim Walz should be investigated for fraud in Minnesota. But let's zoom out for a second and talk about something even bigger. The Pentagon has failed its audit 7 years in a row. That means they can't explain where $2.5 trillion of our tax dollars went. Not millions, trillions. This isn't a small paperwork mistake. This is either massive incompetence or something much worse. And what does Congress do about it? They keep giving the Pentagon more money every single year with almost no accountability. Make that make sense. If you lost track of that much money at your job, you would be fired or sitting in a jail cell. So why does the Pentagon get rewarded? Stop funding failure. Show us where the money went, or don't get another dime. This country isn't run on responsibility. It's run on greed. Government and corporations playing the same game. They squeeze everyday people dry and still have the nerve to ask for more.
Like, if you're running a legitimate business and you have nothing to hide, if somebody comes and wants to register their kids to come to the daycare, I think the least you would have is an application, right? Like, you would have an application. Okay, here, fill this out and bring it back. The fact that there's no application, they're acting.
Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here because there's.
So why are you asking us about
The fraud? Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to a legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot. And it's not fair, it's not okay to categorize all Somalians as scammers and fraudsters due to the actions of a few. It's not okay to treat all Somalians poorly due to the actions of a few. But when you have the President of the United States responding back and sensationalizing it and vilifying all Somalians, that's going to trickle down, right? That's going to have other people now treat Somalians poorly. That's going to have other people now think it's okay to be prejudiced and racist towards Somalians.
Here's a harsh and sad reality. When you have a Minnesota governor and a Minneapolis mayor simping for Somalia instead of simping for American citizens, there's no hope for that state. That state is gone. You might as well say that the United States only has 49 states because it's no longer governed for the benefit of Americans. It has now been taken over by Somalis. Anytime any residents of that particular state is residing in a state that they feel no longer protects them as citizens, as residents of that state, all hope is gone. They might as well just pack it up and try and look for other states that are going to accept them. And especially being in other states that will respect them as Americans. Because Minnesota is gone. You might as well say that we have 49 states. We no longer have 50. Because Minnesota is no longer governed by Americans. It's governed by Somalis. That's the sad and harsh reality. That's why I'm so happy and proud of being a resident of Texas. Because I know Texans, we stand on business and we are going to protect Texas no matter what. Despite whatever political side of, the aisle you're from, we're gonna make sure that we keep Texas red. It's gonna stay red. And most of all, we're going to make sure that we protect Texans and keep Texas strong. Don't mess with Texas. Don't mess with Texas.
Now there you are. Thank goodness for the guy that is going around discovering all of this fraud. Like, you can imagine the amount that has gone into this fraud. It's more than the yearly allocation to Minnesota, if that makes sense. It's in billions of dollars. That's crazy. And these are all taxpayers' money because where else is the money coming from? And that's really, really hurting to know because I'm sure there are a lot of legit businesses that have been turned down on loan. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Americans wanting to go into businesses and they were turned down. Now, these same monies are given to these crooks, these fraudsters. It's really, really painful. Anyways, let me know your comments. Let me hear your comments. I'll be reading your comments down below, and please do comment, and I'd love to hear your views. I'd love to hear what you think. Okay, please do comment down below. And as always, I give credit to the original creators of these videos I have used today. The credit belongs to you. I don't take credit for anything. Thank you so much, guys. If you're new on this channel, please subscribe to my channel, and to my returning subscribers, thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing day. Cheers.